Pilates live stream. Just before we get started, I'm going to talk through what you'll need. So we're not going to use any props for this. You don't need to worry about equipment. However, if you know that you have an exaggerated anterior tilt, so that just means, we all have a spine that has a slight curve here, but if you know that it happens to be exaggerated, I do a little bit naturally, then putting a block underneath your back can sometimes be really helpful. So you've got that option if you happen to have it. Otherwise, if you have props, if you have equipment like the TheraBands that can help with the neck, if you want to put it under the head for curls or around the legs when we roll up. So if you know how to use that equipment and you have it, absolutely feel free to use it. But this class is designed for people who don't have that equipment. So we don't need anything apart from a mat, and you'll want to make sure it's either a mat or a towel just so that the spine is cushioned. And let me see, I don't think there's anything else. We've got the chat function going, so if you have any questions, drop me a message and I'll try to answer. So we're going to begin with a standing warm-up. If we have feet parallel, and we're going to stand nice and tall, lengthen through to the spine. We're actually going to begin with our breathing technique that we do in Pilates. So we're going to cross our arms, place our palms on the outside of our rib cage, and then let the shoulder blades slide down the back. So we do something called lateral breathing in Pilates, and that means that we can hold our core nice and strong, but we breathe outwards into the ribs and into the back as well, rather than breathing from the belly. So we can hold our core, but we can still really fill the lungs and breathe deeply. So crossing our arms with our palms on the outside of our ribs, shoulder blades sliding down the back. Inhale through the nose, feel your rib cage expand, and now exhale through the mouth and feel your deep core engage. You might feel your pelvic floor lift slightly. We'll go again. Inhale through the nose and exhale through pursed lips, drawing the navel in and up. Let's go once more. Inhale wide into the rib cage. Feel your breath into your back as well, and now exhale through pursed lips. Lovely. So don't worry if you lose that breath in the class, I will cue it, but the most important thing is that you just keep breathing, that we're not holding our breath at any point. So arms are by your side, pressing all corners of the feet into our mat. We're going to bend the knees, making sure the knees are going directly over the toes and not rolling inwards at all. If you know that they do have a tendency to roll in, if you've maybe got hypermobile ankles, imagine your knees are going more over your baby toes. We're going to circle the shoulders back 8 times and then bring the shoulders forwards 8 times. Off we go. Circle 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Reversing, we go 8 and 7, 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Circling our arm, we're going to bend, reach the right arm forwards and back if you're happy to twist. Another 3, reach back, 2, reach back, and last one, reach, swapping arms, forwards and reach. Number 2 and reach, number 3, and last one, number 4. Great. Let's take our arms to our cactus position. So we've got elbows in line with shoulders, palms facing forwards. Feel your shoulder blades slide down your back, and then feel like the tailbone is lengthening downwards, navel drawing in and up. We're going to inhale wide into the ribs. Exhale, keep your hip bones exactly where they are, and as you exhale, rotate just your rib cage. So we're isolating the movement to the rib cage. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate just the ribs. We're not letting the knee go, we're not letting the hips go, we're keeping the pelvis still. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate just the ribs. And inhale, center. Exhale, rotate. Lovely. Drop your arms by your side. Lift your nose all the way up and nod your chin down. Again, lift your nose all the way up and nod your chin down. Take your eyes over to the right, to center, over to the left, and center. Bring your ear to your shoulder and center ear to your shoulder. Lovely. Okay, we're going to make our way down to our mat. We're going to start with a roll down. So we're going to do 2 half roll downs and 1 full. Start by reaching your arms all the way up. Try to keep your rib cage knitted together so we're not here in a sort of more gymnastics pose. We're keeping the ribs knitted, we're drawing that tailbone down. Reach your fingers forwards. Once your fingers are pointing to the floor, we're going to nod the chin down. Soften the knees. We're going to roll through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. And imagine that you're folding over something, folding over a barrel. Once we've got halfway, we're going to reverse this and roll back up. Reach your fingers up again, seeing if you can control your rib cage. And again, fingers reaching forwards, finding length. Soften the knees, nod the chin, like you're reaching up and over a barrel. So we've got a lift in the waist. And now rolling back up, stretch the knees. Once more, reach the fingers all the way up. This time we're going all the way down. Fingers reach forwards and down. Bend the knees, nod the chin. Gradually rolling down through the spine. Knees are bent until you find your mat. Then we're going to swing our legs round. And we're going to begin by lying on our back. So, take your time to make your way down to your mat. We're going to start in a position called supine crook. That's just a fancy way of saying we're on our backs with our knees bent, feet planted into the ground. Arms are by your side, eye line is looking up to the ceiling. Again, we're going to look at our breathing, because your breathing might feel a little bit different lying on your back compared to standing. So this time we're going to place 1 hand on our tummy and 1 hand on the top of our ribs. And this is just to check that when we inhale, we're not letting the tummy rise. We're sending our breath very much to the ribs. So inhale, widen to your ribs, feel your breath go into your mat. So we're paying attention to the backs of the ribs. Exhale through pursed lips. And imagine your tummy is flattening and drawing back. Again, inhale, widen to the ribs. Make sure that tummy doesn't lift. Breath is located to the ribs. Exhale. Feel a lift of the pelvic floor. We'll do 1 more of these. Inhale, wide. Exhale. Flatten the tummy. Feel a lift. Lovely. Take your arms by your side. We're now going to look at hip rolls. So you'll see why, because our next exercise, not hip rolls, we'll start with pelvic rolls, pelvic tilts, and then we're going into hip rolls. So one is kind of like a preparation for the next one. You're going to make a triangle with your hands, thumbs together, index fingers together. And we're going to place the heels of our hands on our hips. So you make this sort of triangle shape on your pelvis. Now imagine in the middle of this triangle you have a marble, and just by rocking the pelvis, we're going to imagine we're rolling the marble either towards our index fingers, and that would create a slight lift, a slight arch in the back. Then finding our neutral, that marble is going to go into the middle of our triangle. And then if we roll the marble towards our thumbs, you're going to notice more of a connection with your spine into your mat. And then back to neutral, marble goes into the middle. So let's just do that once more. So we're just trying to create mobility in the pelvis and the lower back. So off we go. Inhale. Roll that marble towards your index fingers. Feel the back peel off your mat. Exhale. Find that neutral spine. Your marble should sit in the middle of the triangle. Your hands should be flat. Inhale, we're going to roll the marble towards our thumbs. And exhale, find that neutral spine once more. Lovely. Release your hands, put them to your side. Going into hip rolls, we're going to inhale wide into the ribs. On your exhale, we're going to imagine we're rolling that marble to our tummy button, lifting the pubic bone, lifting our tailbone up towards our knees, so that we're in this kind of C-curve shape. I've still got the middle of my back pressing into the spine, but my tailbone and my hips are lifted. And I'm going to keep going higher and higher and higher until I reach a bridge position. This diagonal line from my knees to my shoulders is called a bridge. From here, I'm going to inhale and then exhale, roll down. So first from the top of the spine, one vertebra at a time. I've still got my hips lifted. My tailbone is going to be the last thing to touch the mat. So I'm really articulating my spine. We're going to do 3 more of these. They're so much harder than they look. Inhale wide. Exhale. Lift that tailbone. Peel the spine off the mat, one vertebra at a time. Keeping your knees parallel, feeling like your thighs are shining in towards each other. Going higher and higher. When you reach the top, make sure we've not let go of the rib cage, but the ribs are still knitted together, our hips are still high. From here, rolling down from the top of the spine. We're not moving in a block. We're articulating the spine all the way down. Our tailbone stays high, and it's the last thing to touch the mat. We're going to go 2 more times. Inhale wide. Exhale, lift that tailbone. We're going higher and higher, peeling off the mat. So you can imagine a string of pearls. So one pearl at a time peels off the mat. We find our bridge. Here, if you want to make it a little harder, you can reach your arms up. See if we can control the scapula so shoulders aren't moving. We're going to exhale, roll all the way down through our spine. And arms are down. And I should have said before this exercise, absolutely no blocks, no equipment behind your neck, because obviously we're balancing on our shoulders, so our neck needs to be completely free. Last one. Inhale wide. Exhale. Roll that marble. Peel the spine up. Going higher and higher into our bridge. And inhale, reach your fingertips up. See if you can keep your hands here. Roll only the spine. Fingers and arms stay. Tailbone's the last thing to touch your mat. And inhale, arms drop. Good. So now we're going to pick up the pace a little bit. We're going to just lift the hips up and down. This time we are moving in a block. We're not articulating the spine. We're going to do 8 of these. When we reach the top, we're going to squeeze the knees together 8 times. We're going to pulse the hips 8 times. And then lower back down. We're going to repeat a second time. And then we have the option to either lift the heels, or if you feel like this isn't challenging, you could do something a little harder. Try and lift your whole knee up, the whole foot off the floor, and switch. It's a lot harder because we need to keep our pelvis stable and still. You're going to feel this in the glutes and the hamstrings, and this is a little bit of a workout for the lower back too, so we're going to have a nice stretch afterwards. Okay, off we go. Inhale wide. Exhale, hips up, squeezing the glutes slightly activated. Number 2, and down. Number 3, and down. Number 4, and down. Number 5, down. Number 6, down. Number 7, and number 8. Holding this bridge, squeeze the knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hips up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down, deep breath. Get ready for your second set. Hips up. 8 and down. 7 and down. 6 and 5. Hopefully you're feeling it in the glutes and the hamstrings now. 3. Neck is relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Last one. Knees go 8, 7, 6. Knit the rib cage. Hips are high. 3, 2, 1. Hips up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Lower down. And now we're going into those heel raises or marches. So hips up. Option 1 is heel lifts. And we switch. Switch and switch. You can either continue with this, or you can try one foot peeling off, lower back down. Second foot peels off, lower back down. Let's do one more on each side, really controlling the hips. Again, it's a lot harder than it looks. Lower down, lower the hips down to your mat. Hug your knees and stretch out the lower back. Just take a moment here, hugging the knees. You might want to rock them from side to side, whatever feels nice. So we're next going to look at an ab series. And we're going to begin with a position called tabletop. You might hear this position a lot in Pilates if you continue to do Pilates. Tabletop is a 90-degree angle of both legs, so they look a bit like a table. We want knees directly over hips, shins parallel to the ground. That's ideally what we're aiming for, but this is a beginner class, and so there are a few ways to make it slightly easier. So option 1 is to just have one leg in our tabletop position. We've just got the other leg supporting us. You're still going to feel an activation of the lower abs, but it's slightly easier. If you do want to take both knees up, you might want to draw them just a fraction closer towards you, and you'll feel it's just a little bit easier to control than knees directly over hips. And then again, like I said before, if you notice that you do have an anterior tilt and you want to give yourself a little bit of extra support, you can do something called imprinting. Imprinting is not tucking. Imprinting is a connection of your hips joining to meet your ribs, and you'll feel your abs engage here. So if you put your hands on your tummy and you feel like you're drawing your hips to your ribs, that they're just connecting, you should feel a light activation under your hand of the abs. You hold this position, and then it just gives you a little bit of extra support in your tabletop. So we're going to start with an inhale wide into the ribs. On your exhale, you have the option to draw your hips to your ribs for that imprint. On your inhale, lift your right leg to tabletop. Exhale, lift your left, or feel free to keep one foot down. We're going into toe taps. So hinging from the hip, we're lowering the leg down, tapping the toe on the floor, drawing it back in, and then alternating to the other side. We're going to do 20 of these. Just make sure that there's never any arching in the back when we do this. We've still got our core nice and strong, and that we're not just bending the knee, we're truly hinging from the hip. The more you extend your knee, the harder this is going to be. So like an intermediate exercise would be to stretch that leg on the diagonal and bring it back in. An advanced exercise would be to stretch and just hover it off the ground. So completely up to you how far you go, but we're going to do 20 in total. Inhale wide, exhale, off we go. We have right and left, tap left and lift, tap right and lift, tap left and lift. Another 5 and lift and 6 and lift. Paying attention to what the spine is doing. No curling. This is our number 10 and lift. 11. Good. And 12. Tummy stays flat. We're drawing the abdominals in, so we're really engaging that core. And if you want to keep checking in with that imprint, if that does help you, you can reconnect on your exhale. Let's go for another 4. And lift. 3. Lift. 2. Lift. Last 1. And rest. Really good. Again, hug your knees, take a little break. Our next exercise is called the 100, and that might seem a bit alarming. We are doing 100 movements, but they are very quick and short, so that it will go quickly. You have a few options for your 100. Option 1 is feet down on the ground, fingers reaching forwards, and you can keep your head on the floor. So option 1 is really just pulsing the arms, and essentially we pulse them 100 times, moving from the shoulders. Imagine that you're bouncing a small ball under the hands. Option 2 is to add a curl. So you're going to nod your chin, go up onto the edge of your shoulder blades, look between your legs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's option 2. Option 3 is to have the head on the ground, but your legs in tabletop again. So you've got that lower abdominals working hard, fingers reaching forwards, head on the ground. Again, if you want to make this harder, you can nod the head. And this is the option I'm going to demonstrate. If you know that you're more intermediate to advanced, our hardest option is legs extended on a diagonal. This is a lot harder, you'll notice instantly. It's much more difficult to control the pelvis, the spine might want to peel up. So this is a beginner class. I will not be demonstrating that. It's only if you know that you happen to be more advanced. That is essentially what we are progressing towards. So if you also just want to have one leg off the floor, that's absolutely fine. If you feel any pressure or tension in the neck, feel free just to lower the head. You're still getting an ab workout, even if you've got feet down, and you're definitely working the abs if your legs are in tabletop. Okay, so arms by our side. Oh, I should have said, we're not going to do the 100 in one go, we're going to split it up. We're going to do 30, take a little break, 20, take a break, and then we repeat 30 and 20. Inhaling for 5, exhaling for 5. Okay, so I'm going to tabletop. So I'm going to inhale, exhale, draw my hips to my ribs. Inhale, lift my right leg. Exhale, lift my left. Inhale, nod my chin, peeling up. And off we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower down, take a break. That was 30. Inhale and exhale, off we go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower down. Little break. Inhale. We're halfway. Exhale, nod the chin, look between the legs, shoulder blades down. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, flattening the tummy. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower down, we're nearly there, just 20 to go. Inhale wide, checking in with your spine. Do you still have that core connection? And nodding the chin, peeling up. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower down and take your break. Really good, really good. Those are tough. So we've got one more ab exercise. It's called single leg stretch. It's also called one leg stretch sometimes. And this exercise involves a specific hand placement. So if you want to begin with one leg down on the ground, one leg in tabletop, and then we're going to curl, nod our chin, curl up, and you're going to place one hand on the outside of your knee, one hand on the inside of your shin. Your other leg hovers off the ground and you'll immediately feel those abs activate. If the hand placement is too much, don't worry. You can just hold the leg and we can work up to that coordination as you practice this exercise more. What's difficult is that as you switch the legs, we switch the hands. So outside hand onto the knee, inside hand onto the shin, and switch. I'm not drawing this knee right in. I'm still aiming for that tabletop position, so I'm really working the abs. If you remember before, the closer the knee is, the more the abs start to switch off. When that knee is over the hip, the abs are working really hard. So, let's start with our feet down. Inhale wide. Exhale, lift the left. Lift the right. Let's extend the right away. Already the abs should be working quite hard. Let's peel the spine off the mat. Place our hands onto our right leg. Left leg is extended and hovering. Off we go. Switch one with our inhale. Switch two with our exhale. Eye line is looking towards the feet. Switch four. Switch five with our inhale. Switch 6 with our exhale. We're going to 10. Switch 7 with our inhale. Switch 8 with our exhale. Switch 9 with our inhale. Switch 10. And knees together. Relax down. Lovely. So a slight modification of this going into our obliques. You've got a few options with the hands, but let's aim to have hands either behind the head, and we're going to be curling up and reaching our opposite arm across the body on a diagonal, pressing the back of our hand into the opposite leg. You want to imagine you're drawing your rib cage to the opposite hip rather than just bringing the shoulders across. So the arms and shoulders just follow where the rib cage is taking you. If you feel like you're pulling on your head too much, you can bring your fingers to your forehead, and that way it really encourages you to use your abdominals. Second option to make this harder, this is no longer a beginner option, but again, if you know you are more advanced and you want that challenge, you can do this in tabletop. So reaching the arm across, pressing my hand into our leg, lowering down, and then alternating to the other side. I'll be demonstrating feet down on the ground. We want to have our elbows wide the whole time, so we're not drawing them in, pulling on the head to come up. Again, we're coming up from the core, and it's the rotation of the ribs that we follow. So we inhale wide, exhale, it's the deep core that works. I reach my arm across, the ribs are rotating, this elbow is nice and wide. I inhale, lower down, and then exhale, reaching to the other side. Tummy is still flat, there's no doming, and inhale, lower down. We're just going to do 10 of these. The more you press the back of your hand into your leg and your leg presses into your hand, you've got this sort of opposition force happening. You're going to feel the abs working even more. So, hands behind the head, shoulders down, inhale wide. Exhale, engage our deep core. Inhale, and exhale, off we go, reaching across, and inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. Number 3, inhale, lower, and number 4, inhale, lower. Number 5, inhale, lower. Number 6, inhale, lower. Number 7, inhale, lower. Last one, number 8, and inhale, lower. Lovely. Hug your right knee, let your left leg extend and drop down onto the floor. We're not hovering anymore, we're really relaxing. Pull that knee in close, and we're going to hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then holding onto the back of your leg, extend that leg up to the ceiling, try and stretch your knees for 10, 9, keep your head on the ground, 8, 7, 6, 5, you can also do this with a bent leg if a straight leg is too much, and lower down. Good. Let's swap over to the other side. So hugging our knee, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Extending that leg all the way up, holding onto the back of the leg. Keep the shoulders and neck relaxed. As I said, option to bend this knee. For another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good. Lower that leg down. Holding onto the back of your legs, we're going to inhale. Exhale, nod your chin. Use your legs to help you sit up. We can go slowly until you're seated. We're going to do a few roll backs and then we're going to progress to a roll up. So, sitting really tall, nice and high on the sit bones, eyes looking forwards. You're going to inhale, widens the ribs and into the back. On your exhale, you're going to rock off the sit bones, send the tailbone down towards the floor, and we're going to roll back like someone's pulling that tummy button backwards. We're going to keep going down, holding onto our legs until we're halfway, and then we're going to roll all the way back up. So that's option 1. Option 2 is the same, but arms reaching forwards. Inhale, sit really high on your sit bones. Exhale, rock off the sit bones, send the tailbone down and under, curling, rocking back onto the pelvis. And we're going to go halfway. You'll feel the core working hard, and then we're going to roll up and sit tall. So you can either stay with these half roll downs, just check you've got space. There is the option to do a full roll down. So inhale, nice and wide. Feel your breath into your back. Exhale, rock off the sit bones. We're going to nod the chin slightly, looking down towards our feet. Rolling through the spine. See if you can go smoothly and slowly with control. Reach your fingers all the way up. See how far your arms can go whilst keeping your rib cage controlled. Exhale, reach your fingers forwards. Nod your chin. Using your deep core, we're going to roll up now. Find that seated position nice and high on the sit bones. If this is too much with the hands reaching, just take them to the backs of the legs. Inhale wide, exhale, roll off the sit bones, rolling all the way down. This is such a good exercise for your core strength. It's also going to really help with posture and coordination. Inhale, nod your chin, reach your arms. Exhale, roll up nice and smooth. So we want to avoid jerking movements. Everything is as smooth as possible. We've got one more. Exhale, roll down. Nodding the chin, looking towards the feet, as smooth as possible, reaching through the fingertips. Arms reach back, controlling the rib cage. Inhale, arms forwards, nodding the chin. Exhale, really smooth. Sitting tall, nice and high on the sit bones. And that's our modified roll up. So we're now going to stretch the legs out in front of you. If that's not comfortable, you can absolutely bend the knees. You can either put something under the knees as well. But if you can, legs are stretched out. We're going to flex the feet, sit really tall, high up on the sit bones. Reach your fingers forwards. Inhale, lengthen right up through the crown. Exhale, imagine someone's pulling your waist backwards as you reach your fingertips forward. So we're getting a nice spine stretch here. Inhale into the ribs, exhale, roll back up. Find that length. Pull the toes back for the flex. Inhale and exhale, reach the fingers forwards. Imagine someone's drawing your tummy button backwards. Find a stretch in the spine. And inhale, sit tall. Exhale once more, reaching forwards. Relaxing the head and neck. And inhale, sit tall. Lovely. Let's go on to our sides now. So we're going to begin lying on our side with one arm under our head. And we want to have legs in line with the spine. If this feels a little bit too wobbly, a bit too unstable, you can bring your feet slightly forwards, just a little bit, just by an inch or so, and that should just give you a little bit more stability. But ideally, we want a nice long line. If your head isn't comfortable in this position, and you have equipment with you, you can place a block under your head. You can wrap your arm a bit like a pillow. You can also have your head in your hand. Just we want the neck to be comfortable. So, starting off by finding length, you'll notice that there's a slight dip in the waist here, and this hip is kind of drawing into our ribs. We want to send that hip away so that the pelvis straightens up. So imagine this top hip is pushing down towards your feet, and as you do that, you'll notice a little lift in the waist, so your waist comes off the mat. We're going to keep this alignment here, so we have a nice level pelvis. The other hand is going to go in front of your rib cage, shoulder blades are down the back, eye line is looking ahead. We're going to start with leg lifts, just straight up and down. Don't worry about height, this is more about control and finding length. So we're going to do 8 of these. This is where it gets a little bit hard. We're going to lift the leg hip height. We're going to do 10 pulses, and then the ones that really burn, 10 circles. Take them as small and as slow as you like, and then we're going to reverse 10 circles. We're going to lower the leg down, take a break. We are going to do a second set. 8 leg lifts, 10 pulses, 10 circles outwards, 10 circles inwards. If you do feel like you're really rocking about in those circles, you can bend the lower knee, and that's just going to give you a bit more support. So, sending that top hip down, we've got shoulder blades down the back. Inhale. Exhale, off we go. 8 and down. 7 and down. 6 and 5. 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Take it hip height, pulse, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we go into our circles, 10 and 9, 8 and 7. Like I said, bend that knee if it's a bit too wobbly. 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, reverse. I know these burn. 10 and 9. We're looking for control of this movement, so take them as small as you want. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg down. Really nice deep breath. Check in with your alignment. Second set, off we go. 8 and down. 7 and down. 6 and down. 5 and 4, 3, 2 and 1. Take the leg hip height, pulse, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circles, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know it's tough, nearly there. 10, 9, keep breathing. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Deep breath. And it's a tough one. Really good. Bend those knees. Push up onto your elbow. And we're going to keep this elbow below our shoulder. Knees are bent. Really lift in the waist here. So again, we've got that nice straight spine. We're not sinking down at all. Sending the top hip away. And we're going to extend this top leg. We're going to do side kicks. So you can have your hand on your waist for this one. It can be on the floor if that feels a little better. We're going to hover the top leg off the floor, and we're going to sweep it slightly forwards and then back in line with the spine. You just shuffle forwards so you can see hold me. If you want to add a layer, you're going to flex the foot as you sweep it forward so you get a deeper stretch. Point as you sweep the leg back. The progression of this is, instead of taking the leg in line with your spine, you're actually going to take the leg behind you without the hips rocking. So we're going to keep everything really engaged. So if you feel like that's possible and you want to give it a go, absolutely send the leg back an inch or two, see if you can control the pelvis. Staying really lifted in the waist the whole time, and we're trying to keep the leg level, so we're not going high at the front and low at the back. We're imagining our legs brushing along a countertop or a flat surface. We're going to inhale as the leg comes forwards, exhale as we sweep it back and find length. So nice and lifted in our waist, float that leg up. Option to flex, we inhale and exhale, sweep. Find length, inhale forwards, exhale sweep, inhale forwards, exhale sweep, inhale forwards, exhale sweep. Another 4, and sweep, and 3, and sweep, and 2, and sweep. Last one, and sweep, lower down. We're going into our side bend. Option 1 is to bend your knees, draw them back slightly, and we're going to push up onto our elbow, push up onto our knees, lift our hips, so we're making a nice curve through the waist, and then lower down with control. Option 2 is to extend the top leg, pushing up onto our knee and our foot as we sweep the arm up and lower down. You do have harder options. You can have one foot in front of the other. I'd have top leg front, starting with bent knees, pushing up onto straight legs and lowering down. Now that's not a beginner option, so I'm going to demonstrate number 2. One leg extended, one leg bent. We're nice and lifted in the waist. We've got our elbow under our shoulder, and the other arm is ready to sweep, keeping our shoulders down as it does. So inhale wide, exhale, lift the hips, lift in the waist. Inhale, lower. You can follow your hand with your eyes if you want. Exhale, lift, and inhale, lower. Again, exhale, lift, find that curve in the waist. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. On our last one, we're going to hold. Exhale, lift. Reach the fingers to the ceiling. Hold 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Lovely. Sitting up, if you can, we're going to have one leg bent to the front, one leg bent to the side. If that's not comfortable, feel free to pop your back against a wall. You can either draw your legs into a butterfly and just go for a nice curve forwards and stretch. The ring wants to join in, stretch to the side. If you are comfortable in this position, we've got our weight pressing into this hand. I'm going to reach the other one up and over, stretch away from the toes. Sitting back up, you can now either hold onto your shin, or if you can reach, we're going to press into the floor and reach towards our hand and come back to center. Swing the legs around, and we're ready to repeat everything on the second side. So starting by lying in a nice long position. Head, I'll leave that up to you, whether you want it on your arm, if you want to have your head in your hands, or if you've got equipment. We're going to draw that top hip down towards the feet, find length. We've got this hand in front of our rib cage, reminding us to keep the ribs knitted together and our core strong. Shoulder blades down the back. Leg lifts, off we go. 8 and down. 7 and down. 6, and 5, 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Hip height, pulses, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circles, 10, 9. Remember, option to bend that knee if it's a bit much. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And lower down. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, off we go. 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take it hip height, pulse, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Circles, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7. Nearly there. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And rest. Really good. I know these are tough. Bend the knees. Come up onto your elbow. Lifting in the waist. And then again, you've got your options if you want to, we're going to do our side kicks first. So we've got both knees bent, lifted in the waist. Option to have this hand on your hip if you want. We're going to extend that top leg away, float it up hip height. You can either flex and point, or you can just find length and reach the toes away. Off we go. Inhale, sweep forwards. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, sweep forwards. Exhale, sweep back. So we're really focusing on controlling the core, controlling the pelvis, the scapula as well. We're letting just the leg do the movement, so we're isolating it just to the leg. We have another 3, and sweep, 2, and sweep, nice and lifted. Last one, and sweep. Good. Either bend both knees, or you can push up onto your lower knee and your top foot. Arm by your side but still lifted in the waist. Make sure that elbow feels supported. Inhale, nice and wide. Exhale, send the hips up. Find that curve. We're not just going for a plank, but we're looking for a C shape. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. On our last one, going for the plank. Exhale, lift. Reach the fingers up. Holding 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Really good. Sitting up. Again, we've got the same stretch, so just find whatever's comfortable for you. We're just looking for a nice stretch in the waist. So supporting yourself with your left hand, reach your arm away from your toes. And now come back to center. Either hold onto that shin, or if you can go further, reach up and over. And rest. Lovely. Swing the legs round. We're going to go onto our hands and knees. So you want to find your hands directly below your shoulders. We've got a lift in the waist. Imagine your navel is trying to draw to meet your spine. So it's like a lift at the front. And then our eye line, we imagine we make a triangle shape with our eye line and our fingers. So if your middle fingers make the corners of the triangle, your eye line should be about here in the center. We're going to do a cat-cow stretch. So we're going to inhale, shine the tailbone down towards your feet and through the spine so we make an arch. Exhale, you either lower back down to neutral, or you can keep going and lift your nose. Inhale, tailbone shines down towards the feet. Lift that navel nice and high. Exhale, either back down to neutral or keep going. Never force any of these. This is just for spine mobility. Inhale, nice scoop. And exhale, back to center. Good. We're going to do our third dog exercise. This one is about core strength and stability and coordination. So you're going to reach your right arm and your left leg away from each other until they make a nice long line. And then they're going to brush very gently, softly, smoothly back to where they were before they reach back out again. We're going to do 8 on each side, and then we're going to swap over to the other side. What we don't want to do is have one move before the other, and we don't want them to come back in with a thud. So we're really looking for the quality of the movement, really smooth and controlled. So finding your alignment, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale nice and wide. Exhale, right arm, left leg. Reach, find length. Inhale, brush them in. Exhale, reach away. Inhale, smoothly draw them back in. Exhale, reach away. Inhale, draw them back in. Exhale, reach. Inhale, draw them in. We're halfway, another 4. And back in. And 3. Back in. And 2. Draw them in. Last 1. And back in. Lovely. Swapping over. Finding your alignment. Left arm, right leg. Off we go. 8. And draw them in. Exhale, reach. And back in. Your supporting elbow should be soft. We don't want to be locking this elbow. And your eye line should be finding that triangle. Reach. And in. And reach. And on your reach, make sure we're not arching. We've still got that lift going through the spine. Draw them in. We have another 4. And back in. 3. Draw in. 2. And in. Last 1. And in. Really nice work. Tuck your toes under. Sit on your heels and just give those wrists a circle. Give them a little break. So you want to circle them outwards a few times, and then we're going to reverse this, circling them in. We do have 2 more exercises on our wrists, and then we'll come off them and we'll give them a break. So back on our wrists, we're going to bring the knees together. I love this exercise. We've got fire hydrants, opening and closing our knee like a book, 10 of those, and then we're lifting to a 90-degree angle. This one is quite tough. You want to send the heel up to the ceiling. So you're hinging from the hip. Imagine that you're lifting the thigh and then lowering it down. So this one targets our hamstrings. If the coordination is a bit too tough, feel free to go to your straight leg pulses, because donkey kicks can be a tricky coordination. Okay, so we're going to do starting off with our fire hydrants. Off we go. 10 and in, 9 and in, 8 and in, and 7. Lifting the navel, 6, long neck, 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Either finding that 90-degree angle with a flex foot or stretch the leg into our pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, lift in the waist. 3, 2, 1, lower down. Same on the other side. You can stay where you are. I'm going to flip round so that you can see the exercise clearly. So finding your alignments, we're swapping legs. Off we go. 10 and in, 9 and in, 8 and 7 and 6. Don't worry about how high the knee is going. Trying to keep that pelvis stable. 3, 2, so obviously you'll probably be feeling your glutes working hard now. Last one, sending that foot Drawing the toes down into our flex, leg into a 90-degree angle, or a straight leg. Off we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really good. Tuck those toes under. We've just got some modified push-ups. Again, if you're used to doing push-ups, you might want to go for the full version. I'm going to show the modified option for today. Starting on our hands and knees. Knees are hip width apart. Make sure that your shoulders are right over your hands. We don't want our shoulders just over the heels of the hands. We want to press our fingertips into the mat, draw our shoulders right over them. So quite often a comfortable position is to have the hands a little bit too far. So start off by making sure they are right under the shoulders here. And then if you want to adjust your placement, that comes by shifting the weight forwards. So you don't want to be here. This is going to be too much of a stretch on the wrists, nor do you want to be here. If you do find your hands are too far forwards and then you shift your weight, this is more of an improved to intermediate exercise because you've got more of a load on your hands for the push-ups. So a nice beginner option is just our 4-point kneeling stance. Your elbows are going to stay inwards. So your elbows are going to stay in line with your middle finger as you lower down. Make sure you're not just hinging from the hips, that you're really moving from the arms. We're going to inhale as we lower, exhale as we push the floor away. And again, keep checking in with the spine that we're not arching, but still really lifted in the core. Okay, we're going to do 10 in total, and then we're going to hold a plank. Off we go. Inhale and exhale. Number 2 and exhale. Number 3 and exhale. Number 4 and push. Number 5, push. Number 6, push. Number 7, push. Number 8, nearly there. Use your breath. And number 10, lower yourself halfway. We hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And sit up. Really good work. We're going to finish with a little stretch. So let's start off in our 4-point kneeling position. We'll do our thread the needle stretch. Send your arm out to the side. Rotate your rib cage, reaching the fingers up. It doesn't have to be all the way to the ceiling. You just want to open up the chest. Then bring your arm underneath. Slide the back of your hand. And then find length through the fingers. You can either be up here just reaching the fingers away, or if you have the mobility, feel free to drop down onto your shoulder. Reach that arm all the way back up. So we're opening out the chest and place it back down. Same on the other side. Take your arm to the side. Rotate the rib cage. Feel a nice stretch across the chest and through the spine. Slide the back of your hand across the floor, reach the fingers away on a diagonal, or feel free to keep going down. And then again, reach that arm out to the side and lower down. From here, we're going into a lunge. You might want to use a wall for extra stability. We're going to bring our right leg forwards. Place your hands either side of your foot. And then if you can, slide your back knee away. The reason why I do it in this order is to make sure that your knee is directly over your heel. If your knee is over your toes, you're just not going to get a good stretch. So knee over heel. You can either stay here, or you can push up, hands onto the front knee. Hold 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands go back down. Gently swap your legs. So now we have left leg coming forwards. Hands either side of that foot. Slide the back knee away. Feel your hips nice and heavy. This is a hip flexor stretch. So you don't want to be lifting, you want to really relax, sink the hips down. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands back down. Going onto your knees, we're going to tuck the toes under. Rock onto your feet. This is one of my favourite stretches. Heels down into the ground. Keep your knees bent. Let your arms just hover above the floor. So they're sort of in front of the shins. Head heavy, arms heavy. These are called elephant walks. You're going to stretch one knee, keeping the other bent, and then switch. Switch and switch. And so hopefully you're feeling this just above the hips, around the waist, so sort of in the lower back. And after all the work that we've done this morning, this should feel really nice. Switch and switch. Bend both knees, still nice and heavy. Rolling up very gradually through the spine. Peeling and uncurling the spine. Knees are still soft until you're standing. Eye line slowly comes forwards. Reach your arms all the way up. Inhale. Circle them back. Exhale. See if you can rise up onto your toes for a little balance and lower back down. And that's us for today. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you've enjoyed it. And do let me know in the comments if you have any questions or feedback, and have a lovely rest of your day. Thanks for joining. Bye.